मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
In the news tonight, reduction in supplies to slow down construction industry. Expect high police visibility after school hours. And later in sports, Fiji to face New Zealand in Vancouver Sevens quarter-final.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Teva Lindua.
There are fears that the construction industry in the country will suffer a decline because of the deadly COVID-19 virus. Businesses are now facing an increasing number of challenges that need to be addressed and mitigated due to the outbreak, and the construction industry is no exception. The building industry is contemplating what will transpire and are looking at ways to avoid delays in their projects. Kritika Kumar reports.
The construction industry is bracing for slowing economic growth, at least in the short term.
We're seeing the slowing down of construction industry. As you know, a few years back, we were building quite a lot of buildings were going around. This is simple things we can go see around, but you see some of the buildings, which is the projects, are on hold.
Should the virus not be contained in a few weeks, a reduction in supplies from China could cause a slowdown in any sector dependent on imports.
Right, we need some positive news in the economy. So if we start talking with the business people, we start moving around, looking at some stimulus type packages, that will bring a very good positive news in the economy.
One hardware company already stated that they are facing problems.
As we go on, we may find out some items maybe getting less, which I predicted about a month ago, because China is not fully open yet, and some of the factories are closed, so the shipments will be delayed. So some of the items we may be running out.
So far, the impacts vary, with some sectors completely unaffected, while others have been and will continue to be hit.
Presently, it is not affecting in any case right now, because already the material is here with us. But recently, I heard that it is affecting a tourist industry. So maybe later it will affect the hardware industry. For that, already Kasabiya is getting prepared to serve customer in better way. We are trying to procure the material from other countries, which is safer for us.
Construction Industry Council Chief Executive Vijay Naidu has told FBC News that the belief is that there is enough stock of construction material in the country. However, the sector might get affected in months to come. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Police patrol have been beefed up in red zones of the city to avoid any form of school violence. This comes amidst reports of a few brawls involving students from some prominent Suva schools this week. Josiah Nanunga reports these incidents mostly occur at the Suva bus station after school hours.
Brawl among students is common, particularly at this time of the year, and the police force is doing all it can to put an end to it.
That was unfortunate. That is why the message was reiterated this morning to the respective commanding officer to make sure that they have visibility on the ground, because it's a time where school rivalry is at its peak, not only with current students but also former students.
Since the school zone competitions began last month, tension has been high between some schools, and the bus station has been identified as a hotspot. The force believes strengthening the engagement of school heads and student council is critical.
That is why we had sent out our officers to the respective schools, held meetings with not only the school principals but also the school prefects, and got them on board.
Police officers need to team up in numbers and ensure that students are cleared off at the bus station late in the afternoon.
I think the police, teachers and parents need to strengthen their collaboration to avoid this problem happening again in the future.
FBC News visited the spot over the past few days, and it's worth noting police officers are seen patrolling the area with the assistance of some Suva City Council traffic officers. Josiah Nanunga, FBC News.
Today marks International Women's Day, and it's a time to honor the achievements of women throughout history and all across the globe. FBC News Today spoke with women at community level who have become an inspiration and role models to their families as they struggle to make ends meet on a daily basis. Faria Begum reports.
It's not easy to work in a male-dominated field, especially in a taxi business, but this did not hinder Makireta Ratukalo from making a name for herself.
I get to be the boss of myself. I mean, not always, but when I want things done, When my daughter wants things done, financially the support for her and for me, and it's there.
Ratukolo believes being independent and financially strong will set an example for her daughter.
I believe when a woman independent financially, we can do anything.
For market vendor Sinate Mekevakatonga, seeing the struggles of her mum while growing up motivated her to stand on her own 2 feet. Being an adopted child herself, she still manages to raise 3 children from her partner's previous marriage.
Parenting is not about DNA, yeah? It's about the way you teach your children.
For Seni Milimbai Nivalu, there is no age limit to earning a living for your family.
Flowers, they just grow wild in the bush. They just can bring them, they come and sit with us and sell them so that they can support their children.
Women's Minister Meraseni Vuniwanga says it's typically a day for women from all different backgrounds and cultures to band together to fight for gender parity and women's rights.
I wish you all a very happy and prosperous International Women's Day.
According to UN, much progress has been made to protect and promote women's rights in recent times. Faria Begum, FBC News.
The Billionaire campaign is vital for the tourism industry, and it's a way of attracting tourists into the country, especially during the off-peak period. But the most important aspect of this campaign is to have the faces of our own people in the industry making a mark. Tourism Fiji CEO Matthew Stokel says the Billionaire campaign has been very positive since its inception last year. Felipe Naikaso has more.
It has become an attraction for many visitors, as the campaign is about sharing happiness with the world.
National Happiness Day is the 20th of March, which is just one day, but we thought, why not celebrate the whole of March as a happiness month? During that period, we've got activations for our visitors all across Fiji.
This year, around 19 billionaires from various backgrounds have been selected to be the face of their organization.
We're really optimistic because of our industry support that our visitors will really feel that bulla spirit and share happiness with others and take what we're doing on the ground to a conversation on social media.
For Sarah Servato, one of the billionaires, the campaign, she says, last year generated 39 million engagements worldwide, which is positive.
We hope that at the end of the campaign, Fiji is part of global conversations around happiness in an authentic way and be world renowned for it. We are celebrating and would also like to nurture our bulla spirit, as that differentiates us from our competitors.
During this month, the billionaires will share the bulla spirit with visitors to the destination and to reinforce why Fiji is the place where happiness finds you. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Up ahead, Labasa fish vendors to relocate from tomorrow. And in successful Fijian, young entrepreneur makes it big in baking industry. Details after the break.
Nadang ko aproslan ngarse, go erkraki. Do televizyon na barong na Radio Fijian, nandomo ibiti.
Radio Fijian, nandomo ibiti.
A $2 million decompression chamber has been set up at the Colonial War Memorial Hospital in Suva, but there is no qualified staff to run it. The Health Ministry is conducting training for doctors to operate the equipment. Koroitandolala reports the chamber is used to treat people who suffer the bends after underwater diving without any breathing equipment.
Some of the divers working in the tourism industry are suffering from decompression illness.
We have quite a few of our young locals who are unable to use their legs, have been paralyzed or have actually lost their lives because they have not been able to get to a chamber.
The decompression chamber will not only be beneficial for the tourism industry, but will also help Fijian divers.
We have purchased this decompression chamber because we value the lives of Fijians, especially those who may have issues with decompression illness. And again, decompression illness can cause paralysis. So this is an ability to be able to get them, rescue them, and put them back on their feet.
The Fiji Hotel and Tourism Association has welcomed the government's initiative.
We've been following up consistently with them to have them understand the importance of that chamber being operational. There is no other chamber around in any of the Pacific Islands. Fiji would be the only one.
The chamber is expected to begin service by next month. The Ministry of Health says they're working to ensure all their staffs are well trained to operate the machine as it involves risks. Kureitan Dulala, FBC News.
Lambasa fish vendors spent their last day yesterday at the existing fish market. Eleanor Torangevi reports from tomorrow the vendors will be operating from the new fish market after being served eviction notices. Eleanor Torangevi reports.
A month ago, these Lambasa fish vendors were issued notices by the Department of Lands to vacate from here, a spot they have been operating from for over a decade now.
As we are given the notice by the lands that we have to move from here, and that is illegal. And town council has promised us to make a fish market.
This will mean that the vendors will have to move to the new fish market, built just opposite the road from the Lambasa Municipal Market at the end of the Lambasa Bridge.
First of all, we need a place so we can dock our fishing boat, and secondly, we need a crossing for the new venue. No one is coming to buy fish because of the railway in front of it, and it's risky, especially during cane cutting season.
According to the vendors, there are not enough tables at the new market to cater for all of them. There are currently 45 registered fish vendors, but only 32 tables.
I have been selling fish for 13 to 14 years already gone. So we want the tables to be good, to the facilities and the space so that customers and us can stay good there.
According to the Lambasa Town Council, they have fixed the issues raised by the vendors, including the realignment of the tables, proper drainage and pavement. The council says they had also earlier indicated that should there be not enough table for all the vendors, space will be provided through the use of the grog parlour next to the new fish market. Eleanor Torangevi, FBC News.
Turning overseas, in China, a hotel being used as a quarantine center has collapsed, trapping dozens of people. This from TVNZ.
More than 70 people were trapped when the hotel collapsed. The building in Guangzhou was being used as a coronavirus quarantine facility, rescue workers rushing to pull people from the rubble. It's not clear what caused the collapse or how many people have died. It follows China reporting its lowest daily number of new cases in 7 weeks, just 99 new infections. Meanwhile, Italy's grappling to contain Europe's worst outbreak. Just hours ago, confusion after the government announced it will lock down virus-infected Lombardy and other red zone regions in the north, including Venice and Milan, until early April.
Let's say I'm fleeing.
People rushing to get late trains south.
I cannot risk getting blocked here.
There could be fines for those who leave or enter the areas, restrictions that could affect up to 16 million people. Officials say 4 Kiwis are now stranded on the Grand Princess off the coast of California. Testing kits lowered onto the ship revealed 21 on board have coronavirus. Now all 3,500 on board will be tested. The lives of others aboard remain in limbo, including a woman who's due to start chemotherapy for cancer treatment tomorrow.
We're just hoping and praying that we test negative and that somehow this ship can get offloaded in time to get home.
Confirmation the virus was on the ship coming from news media outlets, not the clearly exasperated captain.
We were not given advance notice of this announcement by the US federal government. It would have been our preference to be the first to make this news available to you.
MFAT's revealed another New Zealander on a cruise is caught up in a coronavirus outbreak. More than 150 passengers and crew aboard this Nile River cruise boat have been quarantined in the Egyptian city of Luxor. It comes after 45 tested positive for the virus. An 82-year-old man has become the 3rd person to die in Australia of the virus. The 2nd elderly resident dead from the same New South Wales rest home. And police have now charged 2 Sydney women seen fighting over scarce toilet paper in a supermarket, as panic buying remains a problem.
I just want one pack. No, not one pack.
We don't grow when things are easy. We grow when we face challenges. In our Successful Fijian segment tonight, we learn about the struggles of a 26-year-old pastry chef, Denzel Tiare. The young entrepreneur and owner of Baked by Tiare is well known for some of her delicious pastries in town. Karoy Tandolala with this success story.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
If you as a person want to excel in life, it's through hard work and a lot of determination.
Inspired by her mother at a young age, Dinsel Tiare did not think twice about joining the baking business.
Then I got to go to high school where I actually fell in love with the cooking course, home ec. So a lot of the high schoolers started with home ec and then ended up with a auntie who's a pastry chef. I fell more in love with pastry and ended up taking it as a career.
After completing high school, Tiare enrolled in a culinary course at the Fiji National University before moving to Australia to further enhance her skills.
As a person, you get to realize, you get to think hard about what's more important in life, and I think that's family. I can move, and anyone can move to Australia, but if you don't have the the people that you love around you, it's no point in moving to a place that you'll be alone.
Through trial and error and an endless pursuit of hit and miss, Tiare found her footing through various market shows.
I started off with markets. When I first started doing it, it was not really sort of my thing because I was not used to waking up and like having to take my tables, my chairs to the USP market, to the Westpac markets, the Rock markets, and I think I got accustomed to doing that through the help of my family and friends.
Tiare's years of hustle finally paid off last year as she opened her first shop in the capital.
In just over a month or two, I had pulled a muscle on my lower back, which literally I became crippled. So that was one of the most frightening things that I've ever had to go through. And it's so weird that I was not able to walk. I was in so much pain, and I think learning from that incident actually has taught me that while you push yourself every day to work harder, you need to also relax your body and have proper rest.
Sharing her secrets to a successful and fulfilling life, Tiare says one must never stop dreaming, never stop believing, never give up, never stop trying, and never stop learning. Corey Tandulala, FBC News.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
Ahead in sports, we have to work hard tomorrow, says Beba. And Ba claims women's IDC title. This and more coming up.
My name is Neha and I'm from Karavi, and Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji Sevens head coach Gareth Beba says they will have to play better against New Zealand in the Vancouver Sevens quarter-final tomorrow. Beba made the comments after the national side overcame France in a do-or-die match today. Aquila Dama with the details.
Fiji will need to play much better than this when they face New Zealand in the second Cup quarter-final tomorrow.
Even though we're obviously going to be in a battle, it's going to be about controlling the ball more often than not to get yourself in those positions. Restart's going to be key to that. We know that there'll be ferocity in the contact area as well, and you can't go around missing tackles against New Zealand.
France struck first in the match, but Fiji added 2 tries before half-time.
2-eye all over it. He can't get his hands on. Lugel repeats the effort and now switches for Reva. They're queuing up on the inside. Darren Alangi screaming for it. Not needed. When one of the most dangerous men on the circuit, Perez will give chase. You can stave your legs, Stevie. Jerry's gone.
Both teams scored 2 tries each in the second spell.
And here goes Tuivuaka, slapping away Seager, goes past Ferendamu, popped beautifully off the floor, found Mr. Nitro, Nanduva, 3 away, back. It will fall for the French and they grab a consolation try. Now Nanduva's scrapping for it, Brahwa toes ahead and, well,
Beba says they had to dig deep against France.
It's a pressure situation, isn't it? The players knew exactly what they needed to do. We know that France are, going to come out and give a game against us, and that's exactly what they did. But we managed to get more control in that game than we had in the previous one.
Fiji will play New Zealand at 6:41 a.m. tomorrow in the Cup quarter-final. Aquila Dhama, FBC Sports.
The national side was shocked by Canada earlier today in the second pool match after going down 21-26. This is the second time in 2 years Fiji has been beaten by Canada at the Vancouver Sevens pool play. Aquila Dhama with the story.
This was the scene last year when Canada stunned Fiji in pool play. And this is their reaction today after beating Fiji again. The Canadians shocked Fiji just after 15 seconds, but Napoleon Imbolava got Fiji on the board a minute later.
Nobody home. And Napoleon Imbolava.
Theo Soda scored his second for Canada before Aseli Tuivuaka put Fiji back in front.
Tuivuaka's got no neck, but he's got the try. Fiji equalised 12-all.
Vilimon Mbotitu was sent off for this dangerous tackle, and Canada managed to sneak in for 2 tries.
And with Connor Bray, good offload. Pat Kane, Justin Douglas.
A late surge from Fiji was not enough as time caught up with them. Aquila Dhama, FBC Sports.
In their first pool match, Fiji had to overcome a spirited Wales side. Fiji defeated Wales 26-19, and here are the tries.
Vakun and Billy running between Jones and Trahan, and coming right out the other side. He beat another for good measure. Tackler's beaten 3 points, 5 for Joshua Vakun and Billy. Out the back he goes again. No look, no problems. We call this the 7 now. In a stoppage time to go in this first half, but hands along the line. Still going Vakun and Billy away from Mlatha. Good burst of energy, holding enough for Trahan. And it's a tidy. Releases that offload again, and can you believe it? Not getting the result Wales wanted. Weiss Nathunga gets in behind and gets it away through Darren Alangi, the captain, with an all-important score.
The first Cup quarterfinal of the Vancouver Sevens will be between USA and South Africa at 6:19 a.m. tomorrow. Fiji will play New Zealand in the second quarterfinal at 6:41 a.m. tomorrow. At 7:03 a.m., Australia meets England, and Canada will meet Spain at 7:25 a.m. in the last quarterfinal. The Bar women's football team have been crowned the 2020 Vodafone IDC champion after beating Lambasa 3-2 at Churchill Park today. Thema Nassau was the hero of the side, scoring the winning goal with a few minutes remaining as they dethroned the Mbambasingha Lions. Felipe Naikaso has more.
It will be a memorable final for Thema Nassau, who scored 2 goals to help Bar beat Lambasa in the women's IDC final.
Yes, I was nervous. I already give it up to the Lord for His plan. That's why.
Bar was leading 2-0 in the first half. However, this did not deter the Lambasa side as they clawed their way back in the second half to level the scores. Both sides kept applying the pressure but could not find the break. It wasn't until the 90th minute that Bar found the back of the net, and captain Litia Tomanitukula says she was proud of the team's performance.
The remaining 15 minutes and the remaining 5 minutes, we kept praying. We knew that where human mind wouldn't go, God will always come through, and that's evident today in our game. That in the last minute, God gave us strength. God gave us a goal.
The Bar women's side consists of players below the age of 21, and the win will be special for these girls.
International Women's Day today. I would like to thank the hardworking Bar women officials for always being there for the girls in preparation for camp.
Bar had beaten Nanronga 3-0 in the first semi-final, and Lambasa won over Rawa 3-2 in the other semi-final. Felipe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
Suva remains unbeaten in the Vodafone Premier League this season after beating Lautoka 1-0 at Churchill Park, Lautoka today. Nicole Chand scored in the 67th minute for Suva. The capital city side handed Lautoka its first defeat of the season. Suva is now second on the VPL standings. Rewa still leads the standings with 12 points from 5 matches. Cloudy condition with occasional showers and isolated thunderstorms was experienced over Vanua-Levu, the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Afternoon, evening showers and thunderstorms elsewhere. In the west, majority of the centers were in their 30s. Sunny conditions prevailed in the division. Expect cool nights and light showers later tonight. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, there was a bit of rain felt earlier in the day, but expect the humid condition to continue. And up north, Nambowalu was at 32 and Savusavu and Lambasa closing in with some sunshine in the day. Expect some cool nights throughout the week. At sea, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate seas, poor visibility in areas of heavy showers and thunderstorms. For the tides, the next high tide is at 10:39 tonight, followed by low tide at 4:43 tomorrow morning. Sunrise is at 6:07. For tomorrow, cloudy periods with some showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Tomorrow's temps, all centers are expected to rise into the low to mid 30s. Looking further on to Monday, mostly fine conditions. Recapping the main stories, reduction in supplies to slow down construction industry, expect high police visibility after school hours, and Fiji to face New Zealand in Vancouver Sevens quarterfinal. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question segment, this week we're asking, should students involved in bullying face criminal charges? Visit our FBC website to answer. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email, fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News, or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. And that was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Bola, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.